I'm Janine Schultz with FM News, and we're sitting here with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. We have Josh and Dan with us. How are you guys doing?
Great, except that my seat is lower than yours.
Yep, you are a lot taller than us. I feel like you're like on
Well,
a booster seat.
No, I want to just kind of kick off right away because I think when anyone thinks about you guys, the first thing they go to is the name. How did you come up with that? Or not even, well, you didn't have to come up with it. He exists as a person. But what made you decide to go with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr.?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. The first thing people think of is the name, because that's what we thought of when we had this music and we were like, oh man, we should think of a name for it. And then we were going to be Counting Crows Part 2. And then I told that to a friend and he said, that's so stupid. You might as well just be something ridiculous and like Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. And I said, that's really good. And
like literally those words came out of his
and
mouth?
I called Daniel and Daniel was like, that's great. Let's call it that.
Done.
So then we called it that, and the rest is as they say, history.
Did you go to Dale Earnhardt and say, Jr. and say, this is what we're going to do? Do you mind? Was it as a courtesy at least?
Not in the beginning. We didn't really plan on. We wrote some songs together. We didn't think we were going to go out and play shows. We kind of didn't have a trajectory. Right? Nothing was well thought out at that point.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as we started touring and actually becoming a band, and we realized it would probably be nice to reach out, we did. Josh wrote him, and he was kind enough to write us back.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
is this old-fashioned writing, or you just slipped an email?
well, it started off. I wrote it in calligraphy, and then I realized that I didn't know how to send it to him because there's no real address.
yeah.
And that email digital actually was more effective. So I typed it all out. I transcribed it onto digital, and but he was for how wealthy and famous and busy he must be. He's really a considerate and kind person, and I think that everyone in the world needs to know how sweet of a man he is.
Yeah.
Except for when you get him on the racetrack, don't mess with him because I don't think he's sweet there.
Please describe to me how you. I mean, you're sitting here, you're on tour, you're doing these shows. When it just started in your basement, you didn't think about anything else, and you're also competing with all the other great things that are happening in Detroit.
We've been doing music for. I've played in Detroit since I was 14, 15 years old. I've played the venues where I wasn't allowed to go in the back room because I had braces and they gave me pop and sat me in the corner. So I've been doing this for probably 12 or 13 years in Detroit. Josh has been doing the same thing. And, when we came together and we both realized, man, we've been working really hard at this for a long time. I think just getting a couple more people involved and then the strength of us of us both working for so long, I think that's part of the reason it happened. It wasn't just I think there's some luck of meeting people and having hardworking people working with you, but in a way I feel like I worked on other projects for so long that part of that is that wasn't all for nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those helped me to be able to record a record in my basement after going through all those rough years of trying to figure out how to make a record.
And I guess just finally, I just kind of want to talk about the live show that you guys put on, because I know, I've read it's very important that you do something different than the albums.
I think that it's really important to create a unique experience in that room. It keeps it exciting for us to feel like we're a part of the community that we're in for a day, and also we can't just go and play a show if no one comes. So ultimately, any show that we play is that the people that came, it's their show. It's not for us. And so I think that we just approach it like that and recognize that it's really for the audience and we're there to entertain. It's a different mindset than creating the music. It's the opposite end of the spectrum. It's really an extroverted experience of being there and being present, and we just try and make sure that we're present all the time. I think biggest thing about this project, and I think maybe why it's worked better than some of our other ones, is that it's really honest. There's no pretense to what we're doing, and everything really comes from the heart. And I think that we're both kind of dynamic people, as most people in the world are, and we have a range of emotions, and we're able to act on all of them, and we set out wanting to be able to feel comfortable doing anything.
Yeah.
So I think that that's kind of allowed us to be able to have fun, but at the same time have a serious record and not, you know, not have joke songs to have to be funny, or you know what I mean.
Great, thank you guys so much for coming down and playing a song for us.
Yeah.
This is Janine Schultz with FM News. We're here with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr.